This video was clipped from a live stream. If you want to see that in its entirety, check out my other platforms. The links are in the description.
There are going to be some critics, as I was at first, and maybe some people still are critics. Now, your crowdfunding has raised well into the six-figure range, closer probably to $200,000. I think it's I think it's fair to ask, did you do this thinking you were going to get a payday like this? And what will the money be going towards?
No, I wasn't thinking about money at all. And actually, Project Veritas brought up that I should start a fundraiser. And I was like, I'm really not interested. I hate asking for money. And then they were like, no, really. And I think their incentive was if the public can see me being supported financially by the public, it will encourage more whistleblowers. So I think Project Veritas was hoping I would start a fundraiser to show financial support to encourage more whistleblowers. Anyway,
okay.
So I was like, look, okay. My mom was like, yeah, everyone's asking how they can donate. So my mom ended up doing a fundraiser, and it's wonderful. It's just incredible, the support. And it is really, really, really helpful because I was literally just throwing away my corporate salary. But I felt I just want to be free and have some peace, even if that means a little poverty for a while. It's so wonderful that now I have that support.
You can't buy peace of mind. I've said that for the longest time, and that's part of the reason my wife supported me when I left corporate news. And so I 100% agree with you on that. You can't buy a peace of mind. So, and I see the star of the show is back. Before her producer starts yelling, hey, get the bald guy off your screen. The other thing I really just... I think I wanted to know, at what point did Fox 26 realize, excuse me, that you were recording their calls in the timeline? What point did they see, okay, she's recording everything, and how many calls afterward? I mean, why, Eric Huntley brought this up on Allison's stream, why did they not just start sending you emails instead of realizing, hey, she's recording us? Duh.
It's crazy how brazen they are about their narrative, and they just somehow believe that they're in the right. I mean, they literally put such blinders on that they can't even see their own viewers' perspective, which is why they're losing viewers. So they didn't care because I was extremely direct with them. It was in August that I told them, I am recording you. You are out of line targeting me for simply disseminating facts on the ground. This is harassment. It's actually discrimination. And if you compare it to other scenarios with other reporters, and then they treaded into the territory of defamation. So to defend myself and to get them to back off and get in line with journalism again, I was direct with them. I said, I'm recording you. And by the way, here's an email with some audio attachments of your voice. And
for a year? Almost a year?
Yeah, it was back in August that they knew that, and then later on, by this spring, I could see they were recording me because they had me on an important Zoom call where the little record button was going. So I was like, okay, cool, good. We're both recording. That's fantastic. And I hope they do put out that call we had was a good one. They should put that recording out. But every chance I got, I would confront them about these issues. You guys are not doing journalism. You are trying to crucify innocent journalists to apparently direct a narrative. What is going on? I was very direct with them. When they had me sign their latest version of the employee handbook, I added a full note. You digitally sign it. There's a comment section. I filled that comment section with exactly what's going on.
Right.
And I straight up said, you've got this big employee handbook section on harassment, yet you're harassing And and it's okay to harass me, but I have to sign on that I'm anti-harassment. Okay, cool. So yeah.
Okay. So real quick before I get out of here, I wanted to address two things real quick. Number one, I love what you did. Not so much, like I said earlier, that you've exposed that this is happening on the local news levels. What I've seen in my interpretation, this is a more basic at the core of it. You were being bullied and you popped the bully in the mouth and the bully didn't like that. That's what I see it as. And I love it. I'm always about smacking the bully whenever you get the chance. So kudos to you. Big fan of what you did there. The other thing that I wanted to address specifically, I think a lot of people have put a lot of stock into Allison's streams lately about how I equated this to your version of a sex tape. And I don't want you to feel like, she's just a Kim Kardashian or Paris Hilton. I'm using it more as a metaphor. And I'm not trying to say, this was your coming out party, and not trying to get attention towards you, but getting attention towards the problem. Now, maybe that specific metaphor wasn't the best worded, but I just wanted to let you know on a one-to-one level that that's not what I was doing. I was not saying, this is her sex tape, or she's coming out with a sex tape. It was just a metaphor. And if it came across to you in any way like that, I wanted to sincerely apologize. But then I also saw where you retweeted it. So in my mind, that says you didn't really have a big problem with it.
No, I mean, I love people being real with what they think. If that's what you think, then, and I don't entirely disagree with the sentiment that I did have this incentive to try to get this word out to as many people as possible. What was happening inside the newsroom was propaganda tactics that influence the public. So if this involves the public, I want the public to be aware of this, because it is affecting their perspective of the world when they're getting a slanted view of what's happening in the world, and they think they're getting the full picture, but they're not. So this involves them. And also, honestly, this is one little person going up a bit against a big corporation. Mm-hmm. That is very dangerous for me. And the best way to protect myself is to have an army of Americans behind me. So the more people who become aware of this, actually, the more protected I am. So that's the other incentive for doing something to get it out to as many people as possible, is actually to protect myself from Fox being able to quietly squash me. Now, if they do anything to me, there's millions of Americans who are going to be aware.